Hi, my name is Samantha, and I am the child of an alcoholic. Do you have a time in your life that is embedded into your memories? Something that you could pick out and go, that was the moment. I do. I remember the feeling, the sounds, the smells. I remember watching the light go out and the warmth go cold. When I think back to October 2018, I remember a very grey, heavy exhaustion. It felt like the world had this secret that I wasn't allowed to know, and it allowed everyone around me to be running in full colour. But I was stuck in a slow zombie state of mind, a bit like being stuck in the mud. I was in the middle of grieving the loss of my mum. My mum. She had the most infectious laugh. You could hear her from across the room. She had a cackle. It was great. She loved music and would often listen to the same song on repeat over and over and over again. Normally Shania Twain, Meatloaf, all that stuff. She had the best hugs and was larger than life. But I hadn't spoken to my mum properly since I was 18. When I turned 28, I found out she was in hospital. She was losing her battle with alcohol dependency. We got to her in time to say goodbye. I had 10 minutes with her while she was still conscious, but I will forever be grateful for that. But alongside the shock, the sadness, and this new responsibility of being next of kin, something else was creeping in. The guilt. Tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "You're a bad daughter." As a COA, child of an alcoholic, we often hold a lot of guilt on our shoulders. We protect, and we often don't tell anyone around us what is really going on. We hold the secret, and we hope that no one will ever find out, because we don't want anything bad to happen to the person that we love, who has just lost their way. I was looking for a way to manage my feelings, a way to feel normal in amongst the chaos and the pain. I travelled a lot up and down the UK, sorting out paperwork and funeral arrangements for Mum. I often travelled alone on planes and trains for hours at a time. But this was where I could sit, be still, close my eyes just for a minute because they were so sore. But when it got too quiet, my mind started racing. So I took out my phone and I started writing. What I was feeling, what I'd seen, memories from my childhood that just came flooding back. Things I could have done, the questions I had. It was almost like I was scared that I was about to forget everything that had ever happened. But from this, an idea started to formulate. A way to talk to Mum. A way to work out what was going on. A way for me to talk without any barriers. I kept envisioning 5 chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chairs in a circle. Each one representing something, and each one had someone sat in them. Anger, denial, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Finally, through the pain and the chaos, I had a path. A way to navigate my grief. When I returned home from the funeral, I started writing a script. For the past 7 years, I have worked in the immersive technology industry. I have supported and worked with some incredible VR directors, content creators, and people who have made experiences that have left incredible impact upon me. From listening to the survivors of the Grenfell Tower to physically walking in the shoes of others, virtual reality films and experiences have the power to share stories in a brand new way. As the script started to develop, I knew that I wanted to transfer it into a 360 short film. I wanted the world to hear my script, my words, inside a headset. Now, you're probably thinking, why a 360 film? You could have just turned your notes into a letter, maybe burnt that letter. What I appreciate so much about this technology is that the moment you put on that headset, I have your full attention. There are no distractions. You're not looking down at your phone. I want you to hear what I have to say and for you to emotionally connect with me, which can be a rarity when there's a lot of noise in the world. I wanted this film to leave an impact, share my grief, but also share something that is happening to so many people up and down the UK and around the world. I finished the film in March of 2019, and I did it with a group of incredible people from the industry, and I will forever be grateful for their help. I don't think I ever would have had the confidence in myself to have completed it without them. Our next task was getting people to watch the film. So we set up several events, and this was where I truly started to understand what I had created. From my time in the immersive industry, I have learned the importance of creating safe environments. Many can feel vulnerable when putting on a headset, especially if you are unsure of what you're about to watch. Every single person that puts on a headset and watches my film is my priority. So at these events, we made sure that there was a space for people to sit and talk before and after the film. I would be the person that would put the headset on you, tell you what you were about to see, and I would be the first person you saw the moment that headset came off. At our preview events, we provided cards. These are from the first event. We provided cards just in case anyone wanted to sit, think about what they just watched, write down any feedback, tell me how bad it was, how much I'd made them cry, and just write down, and I think this was really important. This is from the first event, and I just wanted to share some of the comments with you. It felt intimate to be in amongst open vulnerability, a hidden topic, a secret. I felt the pain of you and your mum, especially as I was immersed in it. It felt easier to understand how your mum may have felt because I felt like I was immersed in her shoes. It felt hard for both of you. Thank you for sharing. It was a thoughtful, empathic, and honest and eye-opening piece. Moving, personal, and brave. I really think this will be a hugely useful tool in helping people talk about this subject. Thank you for sharing your story. I soon started to realize that this film, this story, although it was mine, was allowing others to share their stories with me. People opened up. People hugged me. People cried with me. But people also asked for help. It was not just me that needed help. I was still finding people stuck in the middle of it. I created this film to help me work through my grief. I still wonder sometimes how I managed it. But what I didn't think it would allow me to do was heal just a little bit. This film is brutally honest. I talked to you face to face about what it was like to live as a child of an alcoholic. When you put on that headset, you will see 5 chairs. 5 chairs, each representing the 5 stages of grief, and you will find me sat in each of them. I will address you. Hi, Mum. It's the raw reality of the pain I experienced not being able to save someone. By sharing an open vulnerability, I knew that I was not alone in what I had been through. But it didn't mean that the problem had gone away. It sparked a fire. It sparked a fire. I wanted to talk. I wanted to help. I wanted to change the story. I didn't want anyone else to lose their mum, their dad, their brother, their sister, or friend to this addiction. So maybe, if I started talking, I would make a little bit of a difference. I found charities online that were raising awareness around COAs and also talking about the harm that alcohol can cause. I was horrified by the numbers of people that are affected. 1 in 5 people in the UK are affected by their parents drinking. 1 in 5. So I kept talking, shared my film with anyone who wanted to see it, and was available to talk to anyone that wanted to talk. I was almost annoyed at myself that I hadn't been able to find the help I needed when I was younger. That's a very weird thing to say. But why had I not found it? Why had I not been guided towards it? And if I'm honest, I'm still trying to work out why. I've been educating myself on the support that is available for COAs, people with alcohol dependencies, and anyone else that needs help in this area. I did find Alcohol Change, and I became a community champion, which means I get to use my voice more, work with them to raise awareness, and be a public face for the mission of reducing harm. I often wonder if I was ever supposed to share this film. Maybe I was supposed to keep the secret. But then she, my younger self, reminds me that if someone approached me when I was 18 and shared something similar, held my hand, looked in my eyes and said, "You're not the only one with a parent who drinks," maybe everything would have turned out differently. Maybe I would have had access to the resources I needed at the time to get help. Maybe I could have changed the path that Mum and I were on. So I know that sharing was the right thing to do. My grief has not left me. She just hangs differently, but guiding my future. Guiding the way I see the world and the way I express myself. Guiding the way I help others and the way I use my voice for a positive change. I'm grateful for the lessons that it has taught me. She may not have all the answers, but I'm learning to let it live with me, side by side. Thank you.